What's going on, Eagles Nation? It's your boy Showtime 804 checking back in with you, back at it like we never left. Before we go ahead and get started, go ahead and hit that sub button, like, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend so we can keep this thing going on and build this page on up. So we got a big game tomorrow. Well, I can't say too much of a big game against the Green Bay Packers. Tomorrow, 4:25. I'm not looking forward to this game just because of how we've been playing recently over the last month, the last 6 weeks, pretty much. It was pretty much the whole season. It's been a dumpster fire, and tomorrow I don't think it's going to be any different. We go to Lambeau. Now I know everybody wants to harp on the success that we had against Green Bay last year. But this is a different team. This is a different mindset going into this game with this team. Carson has, spoke out and says that he holds himself accountable for all the mistakes and the shortcomings of the team this year. And again, it's just showing the testament of what he is as a leader on this football team, because that's something that he didn't have to do, especially with everything around him going bad. He shouldn't have to fall on the sword like that. The coaches are leaving him high and dry. Doug is trying to take the easy way out. Yeah, I spoke with him, and I recommended he do this. But you look at some of the players, and they're holding Wentz in a higher regard, because it is something. He's making himself vulnerable. He's taking an approach that he doesn't have to take, because it's the whole team that's messing up. Yeah, he's a part of the problem, but he's not the overall factor as to why we're losing. It's more so coaching than anything. I think it's more coaching than actual execution on the field. And he's holding himself in a higher regard. He's owning the mistakes that he's made. Now, a lot of times, as fans, we're looking at the still shots, basically the media manipulation. They want us to believe that he's just this bad quarterback, or he's missing throws. But he is missing some throws, whether he's missing high or low. But that's pretty much been a pattern of his whole career. He's either missing high or low. But what it doesn't tell you, the inner workings of football. So what we see on the screen may not translate as to what's supposed to take place on the field. If there's supposed to be a guy at such and such landmark, like the guy's supposed to be inside the numbers or outside the numbers, don't throw this ball. So if he sees that some guy may be open, but he's not supposed to throw that ball. It's just how the play structure, how the route tree works, how the progressions are. Sometimes we can see on TV, hey, this guy's open. But if he's the last option, then it doesn't matter. You go through your reads first. So by the time, he gets ready to pull the trigger, somebody's covering him, or somebody's in that sight window. So it's more to just, seeing a still shot on TV to say he's missing open receivers. It's more context to that. And having someone who's played the game before, not just an armchair quarterback or armchair coach. I know things to look for, and what can be seen and what's not seen on the football field. But again, he's doing this, taking it all on the chin. It's something that he doesn't have to do, but he's doing it. So that just goes to show what type of quarterback that we have, what type of leader he is on the field, and all of the negatives and the shortcomings on this, it's feeding into what's the guys now? Skip Bayless and the Max Kellermans of the world. The guys who are building their own brand up by speaking bad on this guy, and that's not fair to him. But here we go with the show plan for this week. Run the football, Doug. 9 running plays last week. Well, Monday against Seattle. It's just unacceptable. Now, I know Seattle, the numbers show that they're top in the league against the run. And the reason why that is because teams don't have to run the ball on them when you can throw the ball. They're dead last in passing yards defensively. So that's why those running numbers are so low. But it does tell a tale into the scheme where they're cover 3. So everything is in front of them. And we kind of played into their hand, but we still should have ran the ball more. And this is going to be the same topic that we keep going in and week out. We don't have to throw the ball 300 yards, 400 yards a game. When you just run the ball, keep a team honest. Green Bay's strength of their defense is going to be on the pass, so we need to run the ball. As Zadarius Smith, I think he's battling an ankle injury, so that's one of their top pass rushers. Don't feed into that. Just run the ball. We saw the successes that we saw last year with Jordan Howard. Now that Jordan Howard is being activated this week, this is going to be another key to just run the football. Running the football will open up the play action if you want to go deep and take your shots. But Doug is making this harder than it has to be. You know, once those defensive ends start pinning their ears back, it's free game on this team because the offensive line is so bad. And we're going into the 11th different O-line combination this year with Jack Driscoll starting at right tackle. Now, this is a move that I'm actually more comfortable with as opposed to Matt Pryor. Matt Pryor just doesn't serve a purpose on this team at this point. So run the football. This way, this keeps Aaron Rodgers off the field because the matchup that's going to be highlighted is Davante Adams and Darius Slay. Now, with Darius Slay battling a calf injury this week, it's going to be surprising as to how he matches up against Davante Adams. So if we can keep, Green Bay's offense off of the field as much as possible, then do that. Defensively, I'm not sure where we're going to stand as far as with their offense because this is Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to just stand back there and let our D-line tee off on him. That's just not going to be the case. You hardly ever see that in terms of him just standing back there taking a beating. The ball's coming out of his hands quickly. And they're going to lean on their running game. And you're going to see a lot of their intermediate offense. Nothing over 10 to 20 yards. Everything's going to be confined in their box just because they're going to pick on our linebackers this week. They're not going to just, they're going to attack our weaknesses, as most teams should do. We just don't do that. We're the only team in the league who does not attack a defense's weak point. But that's here nor there. With Zach Ertz coming back, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Richard Rodgers has been playing out of his mind. Way more of a competent piece on the offense that I could have ever imagined from a third-string tight end. There have been some games where he's actually led the team in receiving. Like I said, this is much more than what you expect out of your third-string tight end. And I think bringing Zach Ertz back, it may be a comfort level for Carson. Hopefully Zach has gained some confidence and he's not moping around like he did for the first part of the year. But I stated in an earlier video, I think this offense, the design of the offense was suited just for these two tight end sets. Because when you look at how our offense has been when we haven't had, two functioning tight ends, we've looked atrocious. We look worse off than we've done in previous times. So Doug has stated that he's done some soul searching and he's, more comfortable with the concept of giving up the play calling. Now, Press Taylor being the play caller, I'm not too keen with that, and I really think we're messing up as we keep going by not giving Deuce his opportunity. The man started off as just a quality control coach for us. He worked his way up as a tight end coach. Now, this is a guy who didn't even play the tight end position. He probably played tight end back in his Pop Warner days, but he coached as a tight end. He was a holdover from a previous coaching staff who worked his way up. And I think it's just due for him to be in that position to, try to further his career. And I know he's the assistant head coach, but that's really just a figurehead if he doesn't have any reins or any merit when it comes to the actual game planning. So we're going to see how this works. And I did like that I saw Press Taylor. There was some coach who was talking with Carson on the sideline in between series. Like we hadn't seen that all year long. We normally saw him, pondering on the sidelines by himself or talking to Nate Sudfeld. But now to see a coach with him on the sideline with that tablet in between plays, it gives you a better feeling that they realize that something is wrong and that something needs to be fixed, because now these guys, they're coaching for their jobs because somebody's getting fired after this year. I don't see a scenario where we're bringing everybody back, especially with the rumblings within the scouting department of where they're telling Howie to take certain players and Howie's going on himself making these picks. So somebody's definitely gone. And it may be a case where Howie fires Doug to try to save his own job, but I don't think Howie's job is safe this year. We need to get ahead of the sticks this game. We can't have any, third and longs, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15. We need to run on first down if we need to. Second and short, everybody knows that it's a running play for us. We need to change up some tempos, change up some things. because we've been too predictable. So now let's try to be unpredictable in terms of a game. Take the points. You know, we criticize Carson for not taking the open play. Where Doug needs to double down, and we need to hold him accountable, and where he has to take the points. It's going to be a game of field position. I believe anyway, because our defense has been playing well this year. So take the points. You know, the aggressive Doug, we've seen him. We don't like him this year. It's not going to work. Kick the ball. When there's an opportunity to kick the ball, kick the ball. Special teams, we need some out of you this week. I don't know if Jalen Reagor needs to practice, you know, fielding punts, but we need to flip the field some way, somehow. This is how it sparked the comeback we had last year. Miles Sanders broke off, I believe it was like a 60-yard kickoff return and put us in a short field. We need Carson to have some short fields. He hasn't worked with a short field all year long. This is just what we need to do to win this game. You know, I'm never going to be in a position where to say we're just losing. I know I'm not going to be, you know, completely oblivious to the fact that we're a bad football team, but I'm never going to count our guys out, because that's just not how I feel, and I know that's just not how the team feels. So every week I'm going to say we have a chance to win. It may not be the best chance, but we have an opportunity to win the game. And just doing what I say, if they could follow what I you know, my tips as far as winning the game, it's just simple. You know, work the middle of the field, play action, so that way you can have your tight ends eat, and then you can take your shots down the field. You know, catch them off guard. You know, just send somebody. It doesn't have to be Hightower that runs deep. You can send Dallas Goedert on a seam route up the middle of the field. But if your running game isn't working, you're going to keep everything bottled up. And now's not the time to do that. We need to, you know, we drafted all this speed and whatnot. We need to take advantage of it. You know, try to scheme some of these guys open down the field. Doug does have the ability to be a good coach at times. I think he's in over his head now because he's reading the press clippings, and it is what it is at this point. But we can go out here and get this W. I believe in this team. We just got to pull through, you know, and just take what they give us. You know, Matt LaFleur is still a young coach, so he's gonna have his flaws and show his youthness and experience, as opposed to being as a veteran head coach, which Doug is. So let's just go out here, take care of business, get this dub, and then on to New Orleans. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's get it.